we're recording. All right. We finally got to see this movie.
I know this has been a long time coming.
This was a while. Like, okay, we just had, because we tried to get it where all three of us could see this movie, and I can't remember what happened first.
I think one of us had like a schedule problem.
It was, I think Mikey had to work.
Yeah.
Then I got sick.
Yeah, because that's what
Christmas holidays.
Yeah, it was after Christmas. Yeah, we couldn't see it after Christmas. We wanted to do it Monday because our usual Tuesday was like your birthday.
Yeah.
So we said, let's do it Monday. But you had to work Monday.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we'll put it off till next week. Which worked out because you'd been sick anyways. Because like you and I were supposed to finally get around to seeing Belfast.
Yeah. I didn't know if I was contagious or not, so I didn't want to risk that.
Safety first, y'all.
Yeah. So yeah, we finally got to see. This has been out for a couple weeks now. If I'm not mistaken, this actually came out the week of Spider-Man. Yeah, I think.
So.
Yeah.
I can check.
Yeah, it's been out a while. So yeah, we saw Kingsman, the Kingsman. Yeah, not King. The other movies were called Kingsman, one word. This is the Kingsman.
This is like following the trend of every new modern movie now that has the in front of it.
Yeah.
My favorite.
But yeah, okay. So
yeah, jokes aside.
Yeah. So first of all, I guess let me first explain the movie, and then I have some questions for y'all about this.
I would say it came out the week after.
Oh, it came out. Okay, so it came out Nightmare Alley week.
Yeah.
You and I went and saw Nightmare Alley.
Right.
Okay, so this movie is about, if you're familiar with this franchise, it's kind of set up as supposed to be like a prequel of how the Kingsman came to be and how it was eventually formed by a character played by Ray Fiennes. And what it is it's basically the same plot that you get out of the other Kingsman movies, where it's this evil supervillain who's doing things. But in this case, it's an evil, shadowy Scottish guy who has assembled an organization that I'll talk more about in a second of who's a part of this organization, because it is wild.
It's pretty insane.
And to basically destroy the world by triggering World War I, particularly getting rid of the English Empire. So first of all, let me go ahead and say, let me ask y'all this: what's y'all's experience with this franchise?
So I have only seen the first Kingsman, and it's been a long while since I have seen that one. I didn't see the second one.
For me, I had no knowledge of the Kingsman. I knew it was a series, but I just never dived into it like that.
All right, so you went into this blind. You didn't. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is based on a graphic novel. At least the first one was.
Really?
I believe they were a graphic novel. It was a graphic novel. The first one, I've seen both of the. I've seen Secret Service, which is the first one, and then the second one was called The Golden Circle. I love Secret Service. That movie, when I saw that movie back in like 2015, it was like I loved it. It was such a good movie. Like, it was so different. It's always an analogy I've always used to describe it. Is James Bond meets Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Really?
That's how I explain the first one. This one's a lot different than the first one and the sequel. That's why I would use that. It's an analogy that I stick to it because I think it really explains that. James Bond meets Kill Bill. Golden Circle, I did not like anywhere as much. It got more tiresome than the first one, which I thought I had a lot more fun with. This one is very much in the center. I did like this one, not to the degree of the first one, though. I did really enjoy this one, though. So, first of all, let me go first. Where this one differs, it is different from the first one.
It's a lot darker than the first one.
It is a lot more emotional, sentimental, and touching than the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And
for openings alone.
Yeah. And what I would say about this one, where I would describe the other two Kingsmen as being James Bond meets Kill Bill, this one doesn't really stick to that analogy. This one, I would argue, is more of something along the lines of 1917 meets Inglourious Bastards.
Very good. That's exactly what I was thinking. And I think they actually had an actor from Inglourious Bastards playing a German yet again.
Probably, yeah.
That guy with the monocle, he played the Frederick Zoller.
Brule, I think, is that...
Kid.
I don't know.
It must be a coincidence.
The one who was trying to go after... Shoshana.
Okay.
Or trying to
I'm
romantically.
not sure. I'm not sure.
But yeah, he played a German in that one. He's playing German again.
Oh,
in this
cool.
one.
So yeah, because this one, basically what this one is because the reason I say it's like first I'll say it's like Inglourious Bastards, because this movie puts in its own version of history the way Tarantino does with Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because this evil Scottish guy who wants to destroy the English Empire, because, you know, history shows that, like, Scotland was for a long time oppressed by Great Britain for a very long time. And he has assembled a group of people who become these major figures, including the guy who killed Ferdinand, which triggered World War One. Yeah. Vladimir Lenin, who led the revolution that led to the downfall of the Tsar.
Mata
Hari, who was a convicted spy.
Seduced Russian soldiers. Yes. And the biggest one,
Rasputin. Rasputin, yeah. The confidant to the Russian royal family. What is the deal with movies wanting to always make Rasputin this villain with bizarre powers that he doesn't have? This movie and Anastasia from 1996. Like, what does it do with Rasputin always being this villain? Was he really this so bad of a guy?
It's such a bad thing when you just have a creepy look about you and then you're just like turned into this creepy guy. Also because he was historically extremely hard to kill too, so
yeah.
Which they actually used all three methods in one go that was used to kill him throughout history.
They get pretty close to history, and then at the same time not anywhere close to history. Like the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. What was another one? Yeah, there's just lots of stuff that they kind of twist history to kind of for the sake of the film, but you're watching this movie and you're not meant to be sitting there taking
historical
it with
fiction.
Yes. It's historical fiction. It's like Titanic, or like we were saying, Tarantino. You know, Bastards and
like you're not going into this expecting a history lesson. You're going in here to be entertained.
Yeah,
and that I was. I hope y'all were.
I was entertained.
Yeah,
I was. I think both the most uncomfortable and entertaining part of the entire film was the whole Rasputin fight.
It was. And then like the music's just going on in the background. I was like, I can't take
Russian ballet music while he's doing like ballet moves as he fights.
I have a really funny story about that. My brother and I actually got the Red Band trailer for this when we went and saw Spider-Man a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And in it literally has that part where he's talking to Ray Fiennes and he goes, "I do not make decisions unless my stomach is full or my balls are empty." And then it cuts to Ray Fiennes going, "Well, thank God dinner is served." And I lean over to my brother, I'm like, there's families in here to watch Spider-Man. This is a little heavy stuff to be...
Oh, that's going to be fun to parents.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my. But... this movie, it has a lot of the stuff that I love about the first one. I would say it has a very slow start. I was getting antsy in the first act of this film, but once it took off and really got into the characters, oh my gosh, I was kind of sitting there for a while thinking, the way it has Ray Fiennes and his son, played by Harris it's either Dickerson or Dickinson, I can't remember. I think I got his name wrong one time before when I talked about a movie he was in called Beach Rats. I was kind of sitting there thinking, okay, I'm not really into their relationship so far. It kind of reminds me, like, I was way more involved with Taron Egerton and Colin Firth's relationship in the first one. That one was compelling without trying to be compelling, which this one I felt was for a long time. But man, after a while, and it got into this father-son story, after a while, I really began to feel connection with this movie, particularly Ray Fiennes.
It made that one scene hit that much harder.
Yeah,
because I was shocked when that happened.
Yeah, because you can see the dynamic of like the father and the son's relationship after after the intro of the movie, and you can see like the dynamic, like protect the father. I want to go out and explore the world. Let me do what I want to do, you know. So. And
there's also this really weird surprising like anti-war.
Yeah, there's a lot of war
message.
commentary.
There is. It's a little heavy-handed. It feels like almost Oscar baity in a way. I'm like, it's so weird. You're sitting there watching a Matthew Vaughn action film, and it's sitting there striking you like something Spielberg would make.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of story, where it's like, you know, where she's like, his mother is dying at the very beginning of the film, and she literally whispers something to him. What is it? She says something.
Like,
world with
like
peace.
don't let him like
Don't let
war.
Don't let the world lose peace, or so. I forget what exactly she says.
Something about like protecting their son from the horrors of the world, which includes not letting him go into war.
Yeah. It's very much a criticism on violence. Which is kind of a weird message to have in a movie that is supposed to be a prequel to a film that had fun with violence. So that I did kind of feel like that's a weird message. It is a kind of a problematic message compared to the fact that the sequels, the things that happened after this film, kind of embraced violence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is a little weird.
I mean, I guess like by the end though, like he does kind of like let a lot of that stuff.
The morals go.
Right. Because that's where I say this movie's like 1917. This movie's got all those like Hollywood war tropes. Like there's even a shot when like Harris is running through, and it reminds you of that scene with
carrying
George.
the guy on his back.
Reminds you of the big scene from 1917 where George McCoy, who I thought that was at first. You know, you get any of these floppy, blonde-headed English boys, they all look the same. They do.
I was having a hard time.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
There was also the reference to like Britain's like great storytelling of the round tables, the Knights of the Round Tables.
Oh yeah,
like Arthur, Galahad, Percival. Lancelot.
And I'm trying to because that all played a role in like Kingsman, the original, the first one. They were all had those names. Colin Firth was, I believe, by that point, wasn't he Lancelot or
I think so.
Whatever his name was. And there's other stuff like the dressing shop. Mikey, like that room number 1 when he's getting him suited. Okay, that plays that's a big thing if you've seen the first one, because in the first one, dressing room 1 is where they keep all your weapons. That's where they get you locked and loaded when you get inducted in.
Really? Yep. now I want to watch the other movies.
Oh, the first one's fantastic. I love the first one.
And this is a lot of setup for the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even down to like some of their sayings. Oxford's not rogues, manners maketh man.
Yeah, the manners maketh men that he says at the very end. That was a slogan from the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say about this. If y'all got something y'all want to say right now.
I would say the action scenes were very good.
Oh,
yeah.
Also, this movie does not like their characters having good legs.
No, they don't.
Because at least 3 characters got
legs,
specifically their left legs.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. I was glad I liked this movie as much as I enjoyed this movie enough to recommend it. It was
recommended.
I like this one.
For someone who's going blind, I totally enjoyed it. Just for base value, and then something like, I want to go watch the other ones, and because this is a prequel, right?
Yeah, this would be considered a prequel.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the end credit scene?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes, I think there does need to be like some setup. So prior to this, Rasputin had gotten killed, poison thrown in the frozen water, shot in the head. And then, following this, the main bad guy recruits Vladimir Lenin as the next replacement for Rasputin. And while he and the German guy, whose name I don't remember.
I can't remember. He was somebody who worked for Kaiser.
Just monocle guy. So they're discussing how to strengthen their, right hand, left hand, whatever that analogy is.
Basically.
Their organization. He introduces a young Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
It sets up Adolf Hitler as the villain for the next one.
I was like, this is where we're going with this.
Which, it's going to throw a real wrench in that peace in our time thing that Ray and the King were talking about.
Yeah. Wait, but the thing about that is what I think's weird about the post-credit scene, Do y'all really think this movie's gonna get a sequel? Because I thought I'd heard this film didn't make that much money.
I kind of hope.
I want to because it was really good.
I would like to see it. Yeah, I would like to see this. I would like to see more Kingsman be like this one and less like Golden Circle. Golden Circle had this one. Golden Circle and this one, they noticeably had less action than the very first one, Secret Service. But I was less bothered by that in this one because I was so involved with the characters.
Yeah,
especially, that's what I was going to say. Ray Fiennes, who is committed to this. Ray Fiennes goes through this movie like he's remaking The English Patient. The emotional scenes that he has in this, like when he finds out about his son.
I know, which that whole death scene was, again, shocking.
I was upset.
That
was visceral.
Yeah.
That hurt me in my heart.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all, and then I don't want to get into spoilers unless you want to.
I think we kind of spoiled a major plot point already.
Yeah. It was just like the guy that shot him. It was like. He's a secret spy. I was like, did he just do?
Yeah, because you're sitting there, you're getting all that story from a letter, and you're thinking from the letter that this is what he's writing and what he's doing right now, and you realize, no, this guy's delivering a letter to tell him, yeah, your son's dead.
Yeah.
I really felt that with this movie. I'm trying to think of really any complaints besides I thought the opening had a slow start. I felt like the thing with Rasputin treating the guy's leg, I could have done without some of that.
I was so uncomfy throughout that entire scene. I was like just sitting in my chair like
bad vibes.
Bad touch.
Because apparently, I don't know, was Rasputin really bisexual or potentially gay?
Could have been.
I don't know. The thing. I know that he was like sexually active with the Tsarina and a couple of her daughters.
That makes me think, because there's some kind of, because that's what I thought was weird was they're on the train and because they've got this plan to kill Rasputin and the way they're gonna is
poison him.
Yeah, poison him. And the one lady played by Gemma Arterton, who's like I guess you could say is kind of like the Money Penny of this, kind of like what Money Penny is to James Bond. And she's like, how are we gonna get to him? And she's sitting next to Harris. I keep calling him Harris because I can't remember if it's Dickerson or Dickinson. And she's sitting there. She's like, he has a very according to his maid, he has a very healthy appetite for sweet cakes and even sweeter boys.
I was like,
and his face. Oh, what's funny is when Harris, his face changed. And you're the bait.
That's the point where like he and everyone in the audience are just dying on the inside.
Because I think the Rasputin part was my favorite of the movie. I was uncomfortable, and then he's like, "Oh, we Russian people fucks like
tigers."
I was like, "Oh,
And then he starts growling.
Rasputin was probably my favorite character in this. That's the guy, by the way. That actor. That's the actor who plays Lizard in Spider-Man right now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I forget what his name is, but yeah.
I don't know why I got Rob Zombie vibes.
Kinda. He's got like the beard.
Yeah. I was like, this is some Rob Zombie vibes, and I don't want to make that comparison, but now I'm feeling even more uncomfortable in this.
But.
Ooh, it'll make you cringe in your seat.
Yeah, this is a fun movie. This is, if you were like me and you loved the first one, didn't like the second, you're going to walk out of this feeling this was a return to form. Way better return to form than the Matrix Resurrections.
Listen, we talk about the Matrix.
Okay, yeah.
It was not needed.
This was, I was glad that I liked this movie. I give it a 3 out of 4. I enjoyed this enough to give it a 3 out of 4.
I'll give it 3 out of 4 too.
3 out of 4.
Because I would say, because if I was to grade the other ones, if this one's a 3, the first one's a 4 out of 4. That's how much I love the first one, and then Golden Circle's a 2 out of 4. So this is right. If this one's dead in the center for me.
Nice.
Yeah. I like this movie. Definitely watch the first one. You'll have a lot. The first one, it's got way more action. It's a lot funnier. And do you know who plays the bad guy in it?
No.
Samuel L. Jackson. plays the bad guy in that in the first one. Oh, and he is awesome. He is awesome.
I'm gonna have fun then. Samuel L. Jackson.
He understood the assignment.
Oh, he did. Yeah. I texted you trailers.
Yeah.
If you wanna.
The ones that were shown.
Yeah.
The one I'm surprised there was an anime trailer.
I know for Belle.
We got a very mixed. Yeah, first one, Belle, an anime film. Apparently by the guy who I've never seen any of these ones he did, but it's by the guy who did
Children, the boy, the Beast and the Boy,
Mirai, Beast and the Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Have I seen Girl Who Leapt Through Time? I'm trying to remember if I've seen The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
I was gonna say it was a Studio Ghibli movie from like the first time I was looking at it, but no, it wasn't.
It's not. It's by another guy who kind of makes his own. It's by the guy he directed a One Piece movie. I know. I don't know which one. I've never seen any of them, so I don't know which one. I just know that because I saw this movie advertised literally just yesterday. I got an ad for it on YouTube. It looks interesting.
It does look interesting.
I feel like
a neat, like modern take on Beauty and the Beast.
It looks like what I'm imagining Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse is going to be. It's apparently I can't quite put my finger on what exactly it's about, but I'm guessing it's like a girl who starts like a virtual avatar where she's a singer. I'm like
she gets really popular from it.
Yeah. So yeah, is this what the metaverse is going to be? What Facebook is going to turn into?
I hope not. I don't want that.
So yeah, Belle, that might be. Yeah, I'd look into that one. I think that one's actually playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, huh?
Right.
Okay.
What a coincidence.
The Northman.
Oh my God, I am so ready for this. The Northman.
That looks interesting.
It's by the guy who did The Lighthouse and The Witch. Yeah. And you can kind of tell. It kind of looks like a combination of The Lighthouse mixed with Green Knight by David Lowery, which you and I went and saw. We love that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely ready. It's got Alexander Skarsgård in it, who plays a Viking, I guess, out for revenge. That sounds like my kind of movie. That sounds like your kind of movie. Sounds like your kind of movie.
I was just interested. I was like, I want to see. I just want to watch this now. Yeah. Like I'm heavily invested now.
And I can tell you also whose kind of movie it would be Nicole's kind of movie. Not necessarily because she loves action movies, but because she loves anything with Alexander Skarsgård, especially anything with Alexander Skarsgård wearing very limited clothing. I
can't argue with her there.
I need to talk to Nicole. She might be out of the country when that movie comes out, but I'm gonna see. I'm definitely gonna try to get in touch with her, see if she wants to go. She's been busy. Because of all the holidays and working and stuff. That's why she hasn't been to the movies with us in a while. But yeah, I'm definitely going to tell her about that one. Hey, we found your movie, and it's got topless Alexander Skarsgård.
Who knows? From 90% of the movie, probably.
Yeah. Oh, Northman. That's definitely. Yes. That's one of my top so far.
That's one.
Year.
I was like,
awesome.
I love myself a good detective mystery movie, like something like that. I was like, you know what? I am willing to go and be invested.
Yeah. All right.
And Everything, Everywhere, all the time.
Yeah, or all at once. Everything, Everywhere, all at once. I'd heard something about this movie, and I don't know. I thought maybe, unless I'm confusing the title with something that sounds similar, I thought this is going to go on Netflix maybe, but it said it's an A24 film, but maybe Netflix bought it. I don't know.
Maybe.
I was confused. It's like it looks like a multiverse movie. Like it tries to do like a Doctor Strange.
It's kind of like a Doctor Strange
mixed with John Wick.
Yeah.
It's like Doctor Strange mixed with John Wick with a...
It's like a lot of movies in there. He's like, Doctor Strange, John Wick, Matrixy.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
It's like the trailer didn't give much, but that's why I pursue.
It looks like it'll be once again A24 trying to make something that they can market as like a blockbuster, kind of like what Green Knight was, as this big fantasy epic. This looks like, this is like if A24 made their own John Wick, because, it looks way more high concept than like a John Wick.
Yeah.
It looks something almost like if you made something like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, mixed with like Doctor Strange or something. Yeah.
I feel like the movie's probably go into more details about how.
Oh, yeah, because it kind of threw a lot at you, or the trailer did.
Yeah.
So I was almost like confused. Like I got the concept of it, but I was also confused of like the primary
like how
line that was going
because it
there.
seems like she didn't know what she was doing, but at the same time she started to learn.
Like she's got all these different abilities depending. Like in one, it looks like she's like a superstar actress. Another one, she's like a chef. And I want to figure out what the hell those things on her fingers were at that one part. What was that shot?
That was like alien multiverse.
Good God, that's like
Martian.
I tell you what, that gave me. That gave me sorry to bother you vibes. A part where you find out that Army Hammer's got these horse people hybrids. Like, oh my God, that's what what vibe I got off that shot.
Yeah, that like dude was everywhere. I was like, oh, key.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that one too. And what was our last one?
Death on the Nile.
Oh, Death on the Nile. Yeah, that is a movie that has been delayed for like 2 years now. That was supposed to come out in like 2020, just as the pandemic hit, and they kept moving it because of the virus. Then they were finally like, okay, 2020 and 2021's its year, and then they ended up having to get rid of it again because of the Army Hammer scandal. And so now, and I think it's Disney that actually owns it because it's made
20th Century
So
Fox.
yeah, they own it, and they're just gonna drop it. They're just gonna basically, they're giving it up to leaving it to the roll of the dice on whether it makes money or not.
That's not promising.
Yeah, I mean,
especially for a movie being delayed two times.
That many years they've been sitting on it, and the fact that
because it's one thing for a movie to be delayed by the pandemic, it's another for it to be delayed prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, especially for something that doesn't have like we were talking about, anything right now that isn't Spider-Man has not done well at the box office. West Side Story, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, even it, like something that wasn't even intended for a major audience, it's not doing that great right now. It made only $10 million, I think, in its first 3-4 weeks. You know,
it's rough out here for movies that released this summer in June.
Yeah.
And just for the fact that like Spider-Man is still out, and people are still going back to rewatch it. Like I'm guilty of this because I watched it twice.
Yeah, but yeah, Death on the Nile, and I just feel like that's not something that people are gonna demand. Like it's highly anticipated. It's Agatha Christie, and the thing about Agatha Christie, I've read Death on the Nile. I've read some of Christie's books. I've read Death on the Nile is one of them. Agatha Christie, I just feel doesn't work great as a movie. Her mysteries aren't like something like a noir thriller. They're more very quaint. And I noticed that Branagh, he's trying to kind of create like way more tension. He's like when he's sitting there yelling at the one guy, tell me what you know or whatever, and he's like, no one's leaving. Like, I've read that book. That is not, he never gets that. Poirot never gets that just aggravated. They're trying to make this story more tense than it actually is.
Dumbledore said calmly moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Asked Dumbledore calmly.
Versus, Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he like fucking assaults him.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna probably watch Death of the Nile because I have read the book that one's based on, and I haven't seen the adaptation they've made before. Like, I still haven't seen the most recent adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express. I've seen the Sidney Lumet one from the 70s. It's fine. It's just, like I said, Christie doesn't really work as a movie. Her books are very interesting. Her books are really fun. Their mysteries are really fun because she layers them, and she likes to like make it look like, she likes to breadcrumb you into thinking, I know how a mystery works. If this happens, this must be the conclusion. And then she tricks you because she layers smaller mysteries on top of them.
So kind of Knives Out-ish.
Yeah, she kind of diverts your attention. Like there's other crimes being committed here that what you think is a clue to this big one is actually something part of a smaller one. And that's how they're really fun, and they're fun to read. When they go to movies, they fall flat a lot of the times. Like The Mirror Cracked. It doesn't work as a movie.
Do you think it's because
Evil Under the Sun didn't work as a movie?
Try to be noir, or
it's just too quaint. It's just way too much. It's way too simplistic. Like parlor room chat is kind of what Christie's stuff is, and it works as a book, but not as a movie. It's not interesting enough to make a movie.
Gotcha.
Based on who's directing the movie, like it really is just based on directors and the script.
Yeah, that's why Braniff's sitting there trying to create. He's trying to bring some real tension and energy to this story because it just, like I said, other versions, they just don't work when they try to be exactly as Christy put it down on the page.
Right.
So yeah, if that's all the trailers, where you don't have anything else to say about Kingsman, we want to talk about what we want to see next because next week, Scream.
I still need to watch the original.
You have never seen the original?
I need to.
Really?
That's your homework for this week.
That's my homework for this
week. I
week.
watch all 4 because they're actually good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, for a horror film.
Just for the sake of the movie, I might just watch the first one because I don't know if this is going to pull like a Halloween where it's going to be like a direct continuation from number 1.
I'm thinking, if anything, from what I've seen on the trailers, one thing is, man, this looks intense and ambitious for a Scream film based on these trailers.
Yeah. And the whole, lock, unlock thing, that alone in the trailer kind of freaked me the fuck out.
There are some freaky ass shots in that. So, like that shot of like his silhouette up on this building where he just pulls out these 2 knives. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this looks like something out of like V for Vendetta type shit.
I think Ghostface is getting sick of everybody like clowning on him. He's like, I'm serious this time around.
And then, it's actually kind of like, I know a lot of people have their opinions on reboots, remakes. I feel like this is actually a
continuation. This is way more of like a continuation because it's even Cindy. It's even got Neve Campbell returning as Cindy, and she's like, I know this because she's basically going to be doing the Jamie Lee Curtis role of the 2018 Halloween.
That and like, even though I haven't seen the original Scream, I'm like aware of what the plot entails. This is definitely something that could easily freak out a million people even today just because home security is such like a terrifying concept. And having like that broken, even when you have all this high-tech shit to keep you safe, what happens when even that can't keep you safe?
Yeah.
That scares the shit out. And I'm home alone right now, so I'm like, just thinking about that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Like you just like, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone can just hack into my system and just unlock my doors. Like,
don't like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah, we'll do Scream next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Well, yeah, because I think we'll all. Yeah. I don't think I have anything planned for next Tuesday.
Neither do I.
Okay.
I think outside of class, I don't have anything.
Yeah, I've got class till probably 2:30. We'll try to do a 4 o'clock because I think I get out of class.
Just check your schedule and just.
I get out of class. I think by 3:30.
I think so do I.
And I can be down here by 4:20. We'll try to do that showing again because I have imagined that one will be around that time too.
And then the Batman comes out too.
Batman, that's in March. Yeah, we'll talk about doing that one later. But yeah, okay. Scream next Tuesday. Do you still want to try to do Belfast this weekend?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, don't remember y'all. Just. Watch Scream, just get a recap and just.
I'm gonna have to not watch it when I'm home alone.
Yeah.
that is the thing.
I'm gonna have to wait till my parents get home so I can be like, feel like I have some sense of security.
Mom, Dad, I'm watching.
I don't want to end up like Drew Barrymore.
All right, so yeah, Belfast, Scream, and I don't think I've got anything planned to do like any of my other reviews on because like I said, theaters are dry right now. January is the time of year I just catch up on whatever's going to be at the Oscars.
It's going to be a hot minute.
Yeah. All right.
Like February, so March is like new movie. Like movies.
March is where they start like slowly filing more and more out.
Cyrano, I think, is like the next thing because I have a feeling Peter Dinklage is going to get an Oscar nomination for that film. That comes out at the end of the month. We can try to do that one too, maybe the week or so, whatever week after Scream that comes out. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and sign off here.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.